Great morning, everyone. What's going on? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing, getting ready here for our live session. I am grateful to be with you all. You all just really bring me, you all just like lift my mood up so much. You all are so positive, growth mindset. I love it, and I'm so grateful to be here. All right, we got a lot to cover today, but we're not in a rush, which means that we get to enjoy ourselves, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. So we're going to do that. We're going to break this all down. We're going to go slow. We're going to see what's going on around us. Make sure we have that situational awareness. Speaking of which, tomorrow we do have, You got Bank of Canada rate statement this morning, by the way, if anyone's in any Canadian dollar trades. But the big one tomorrow is the ECB, the press conference at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's when we'll be looking for some possible big moves. That's what's going to move and affect the dollar. There's no way of knowing what's going to happen ahead of time. We could only wait to see what is said, what is introduced, what is affirmed, and then see how the market reacts. Tomorrow's going to be a big day for the dollar. We'll keep tracking it. S&P 500. Oh, by the way, just a couple of observations. Why the dollar has made this move over here, which, in perspective is not a big move at all if you're looking at this full chart, but we put in we're putting in a possible bottom over here. It's possible we're setting up a counter trade move. That's all possible. And why that's happening, you have to notice that gold has really, what has gold been over here? This is why the dollar is doing all that. Gold has been really maintaining, no? You all see that? Why the equity markets pulled back 8%, 9%. Gold has been maintaining. That's bullish in my mind. The bullish structure remains intact until we break below 1900. Still maintaining. Same thing with silver. Maintaining above our line over here. I don't know what that is. Call it 25.92, right? As long as we maintain above that. That was that support from over here. That resistance from that peak up over here in that area. As long as we remain over there, it's bullish. Tomorrow's a big day for the dollar. We're going to see what's happening over here. By the way, also, why the markets, just a couple of observations before we get started, why the markets had this correction. And that was a big correction, but this was also a big melt up, right? So reversion to the mean, that's what we talked about. That's what's happening so far. The other thing that I wanted to say, it was Bitcoin who led the U.S. equity markets down, not the other way around. It was Bitcoin who first dropped. People are like worried about that correlation. It was Bitcoin who led first the move down before equity markets made the move down. Be aware of that. All right, just a couple of observations. Now we're going to get into the charts over here. We're going to see what we're looking at. Today's going to be a good day of going over Joe, and I still have no idea. A lot of people got upset. Literally, could you imagine? People got upset because I say, I have no idea which way this breaks out of this consolidation over here, this blue box. It could go down or up, and I give it 50. Listen, if you think that you could always be able to have like a clear understanding and be able to predict the markets, you're absolutely in for a rude awakening, and you'll never make it. All right, so I still have no idea which way this breaks out of this consolidation over here. It could go either way. We looked at that strongly yesterday. We don't need to do that right now. We'll do that in a little bit. We're gonna go through our flow. I can't predict it. I can't. All right. So did anyone take the trend? Because we talked about if we come down to this lower trend line over here and then resume out of it, making the higher high, that's an entry. Did anyone take it? If you did, hit the thumbs up. If you took that entry, definitely hit the thumbs up. We talked about we could see a big move up. That move could go higher than over here. Let's call that over here at 34.42. I would not be surprised. Now, the other thing that I have no idea is this could be the dead cat bounce that's coming in right now. A dead cat bounce is when markets fall and then put in a relief rally before really rolling over. That I have no idea. People don't like to hear that. I have no idea. That's a great entry. We said yesterday that's the entry to take. Here we said no. Here we said yes. Anyone's in this right now, you pulled up against this trend line. Do you move your stop loss to break even? Absolutely. You need to be very uber cautious and protect yourself. This thing could roll over at any minute. It could roll over at any minute. You're up over 1% right now. Go ahead and lock that trade in, and then now let it run and see what happens, right? Let's see what happens. Let's see if we could take out this last swing high over here. That's at 34.45. That would be I would not be surprised, and that's a big move. Okay. Now, if this does roll over and we take out this trend line, oh man, that is so bearish. That will be a big break. Watch out for that. We are not the most difficult time to take a trade, and the best time to take a trade is when you're into that big support or resistance level. But it's always a crucial time in the markets, right? There are a lot of people selling into supports. There are a lot of people who continue to sell. They're price momentum chasers. Can you imagine? They sell into support. All right. So we have, again, we're just going to wait and watch. I have no idea, but if you're in that trade, it's definitely time to move that. As you came across this next resistance level over here, that trend line, it's time to move your stop loss to break even and hold on, because that's a big move from here to here. Let's see if we could take out that last swing high. That is my base case. If we roll over and break down over here, watch out. We got pain ahead. Nasdaq up, bouncing high. You can see so far it's caught. Follow my mouse, right? You see the resistance here. You see that resistance. You see that support. We're having trouble right there this morning. Okay, but the Nasdaq is up 1.4%. That's a healthy bounce. Again, it could very well be a dead cat bounce. It could very well be a dead cat bounce. This is where we start getting interested if we break down over here, right? That's a big technical break. Then we're going to start looking to the downside. We'll see if we can wait for the retest up and then come down over here, and that's where we attack. That would be a good place to attack. So if we miss that trade, should we watch to go long? No. If you missed that trade, if you saw the trade and you didn't take it, that's great. Okay? Because when you're actually seeing things unfold in real time and you're watching it, whether you take the trade or not, you're actually retraining the neurons in your brain. That's very, very important. But if you miss the trade, then you miss the trade. Guess what? The market is always going to be there, and there is always opportunity. So you didn't miss that's not your trade, right? Think about the waves coming in. You're a surfer. There's waves coming in. Guess what? There's always going to be another wave. There's always going to be another wave. You don't chase. All right. What else do we have over here? All right. By the way, I want to see what the Dow's doing. The Dow is lagging the two. We're back to that old familiar situation right now where you have the Nasdaq leading, followed by the S&P, and then the Dow. That's all good. The Nasdaq had gotten obliterated, right? Obliterated. So let's see. But you notice also we're still very momentum is very strongly to the downside. We haven't even broken this first steep trend line over here. If it does, that's when you might see the bounce up to take out that swing high, because this is like a rubber band that's pulled back right now. This is a rubber band that's pulled back right now. It can easily snap back into place. All right. So what's going? Gold over here is on the verge of possibly breaking out again to the upside over here. When I say breaking out to the upside, I'm talking about this descending triangle over here. It's not neat. It's not neat. What do I mean by it's not neat? Well, you could see over here, like this was neat. Hold on. Let me make this a little clearer for you. Let me make this a little clearer for myself. This was neat. And then we had the breakout over here. I'm sorry. That was neat. We had the breakout, the retest, and then the breakout, but then we fell back into it. And then we've been back into it since. It does appear to me that we're breaking out actually right now over there. It does appear we're breaking out right now over here. Now watch what happens over here. This was support, right? That line goes all the way back to this touch over here. This trend line goes all the way back to here. It's not important. I don't need to do that right now. This could now be resistance on the upside. So watch out for that. That coincides with a little bit of local resistance as well. Watch what happens at 1950. If we get above 1950, that's going to look a lot better. Okay, still a lot of work to do, but the most important thing when you look at gold, the most important thing to look at and say is the line that we looked at yesterday, and that's the line of 1900. And as long as we stay above that line, the bullish structure here remains very much in place. Silver rebounding also off of our line in the sand. That's coming in around 25.90. Silver rebounding off of it. I missed my take profit right over there. Not by much. All right, so gold, silver. You notice today the kind of calm, relaxed, mellow attitude. Wow, that's awesome, Miguel. 1.3 of you all in here together, surfing the waves here, looking at the markets for us, getting clarity, right? Thanks for everyone for being here. I definitely appreciate you. There is in the description below to get alerted when we go live every day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on the Telegram broadcast channel. If you go to the description below and you sign up for that Telegram channel, as we go live, I let you know every day because YouTube is not good with that. And if you want to know when we're going live, just go ahead and, just get yourself up in that Telegram group and I'll make sure you get notified. Dollar falling over here. So I was watching this blue line over here to see if this is where we retest into and resume off of. If we do, that would be quite bullish for the dollar. If we're able to hold this and start resuming off there this session, that could happen. And if that does happen, that's pretty bullish. The other thing to watch out for is if we come back down into this trend line right here. This was the channel that we were in for all of August. If we come back down into that channel and resume off of there, that also sets up the counter trend move for the dollar. Notice how we did not bite yet. Do you notice how we did not bite? We're not biting until we get the resumption out. Then we're looking for that bigger counter trend move on the dollar. We could also, you're never out of the woods. We could also fall back into this trend line, come into this trend line, and resume off of there. So again, it's an ongoing fluid situation. That's what happens when you get to these, like, this was gravy train. As long as when we helped, you guys were all here. As we were riding this wave over here, staying below this trend line over here, that was all gravy. Now, there's a lot of work to be done. Guess what? You want to be good at something? It takes time, energy, and work. Yeah, I'll try to call out the numbers a lot more. Definitely. Mr. B, that's right. Born and raised New Yorker. DL, if you're just joining us, you got to pull back on the live stream. We talk about the S&P and Nasdaq first. Someone giving a thumbs down for New York? Oh, man. Oh, boy. So over here, you got to pull back and look at it. Right here, anyone who's trading went long right over here. As we broke this trend line over here, moved their stop loss to break even. And, we're going to see if we get a nice continued pop over here, possibly taking out this last swing high. At the same time, if we roll back over and we take out this trend line over here, it's bad news bears. This thing could get ugly and continue to get ugly very quickly. For resistance, Gabe, for the resistance over here, yeah, I'm looking over here. I'm looking over here as my next area of resistance into that trend line over here, and that over here. We'll see, right? Could it be down over here? Yeah, I have the whole mindset today that what we could be looking at is a dead cat bounce, but at the same time, hey, this is where we said now the risk rewards in our favor. Here is where you lean in, right? A test of this trend line over here and a resumption out is where you lean in. All right. Anyway, let's keep going over here. Let's take a look now. This is kind of flowing quicker than we thought over here. Oil. I like where that support line is actually. I like all the touches. You could see now that we bottomed out a little bit lower. You could see over here, right? Those lines that we bottomed out at, but above this 37.05 now, That looks like a place, and I talked about it yesterday in the live stream because this was the first time that I mentioned a trade on oil, and I said off of that support level, a resumption off, that looks like the place to lean in. Now, I have no business or no desire, I rather should say, to trade oil, but again, we don't know what's going on here either. We don't know whether this is also leading just a dead cat bounce over here, and if that is, that's going to peter out around 38.47, and then we roll back over. I don't really know. When I hear my voice so hesitant, I just keep moving. I'm looking for clarity, and that's where that's where you want to hang out when things are clear. And if you have to spend 3 days looking at charts and doing your analysis until something's clear to you, then do that. Just don't jump in and take a trade. This has I don't even want to get into oil because it's not exciting. It's everything to do with Germany and Russia and the was it the Nord Stream pipeline? It's not even exciting right now. Here we go on the blue box of Bitcoin. This is where we are. We're still consolidating. I still have no idea if we break out to the upside or downside. All I could say is if we break down out of here, that right over here into this area where we have this confluence of trendline support, descending trendline support and rising trendline support, and also over here a lot over at 92, 91. I have a big line over here, a big line of support at 91. All three of those area. When I say that, do you see over here the resistance? Then the support, then again the resistance, then again the support, this whole big base of support, this whole big base of resistance, and then support, and all this supply right here. That's a big level 91. All three of them are making a confluence right here. If we come down into there, that's the place that we're targeting, looking for a big, probably spike up, a big wick out of there. Probably if we get down there, it won't last too long. If you're interested in there, you should have the orders waiting. If we do not break down to the upside, we have a lot of fuel added here. Why do we have a lot of fuel? Well, we did come down, right? Test the breakout area, resumed off of it, but we never closed the CME gap. So a lot of traders who are targeting that close of that gap, they're on the wrong side of the market. That could really add a little bit of a snap up on Bitcoin. I don't think I have the chart right here. I do. Just keep this in mind. September, if you're looking at historically average monthly returns, is the only month for Bitcoin that is negative. And look at October and November. So when I'm talking about at the end of the month that we should be around 18,000 by the end of the year, by the end of 2020 at 18,000, and if you think that's like way out there, that's really exactly the math even adds up from this aspect. And I just came across this graph a couple of days ago. Ethereum looks still coming into some resistance right over here, big resistance. I don't know. It's kind of leading again today. Chainlink also leading. When Chainlink moves up first, Bitcoin does normally follow. When Chainlink moves down and Bitcoin's trading up, Bitcoin usually follows to the downside. Okay? So over here, before Ethereum gets to be looking good again, technically it's not right now because it's below $360. Below $360 is where the bull market started. We're back below it. So it's got some work to do over here. Okay? Just want to jump in on Chainlink really quick as we keep moving along this morning. This is such a big level over here on Chainlink, and that's coming in at $12.92. Until it gets above there, it's also looking very, very, very poor. And then it's also got to get above $14.16 over here. So Chainlink's got a lot of work to do. However, if you do pull back and you see the move that it put in, long term, it's still looking great here. That's definitely a place you might want to lighten up there just a little bit then, because 9100 is very much in the cards. That's very much into the cards. That could happen. If you're just joining us, by the way, I'm glad you're here. We do go live every day, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. There is a link in the description below for a Telegram broadcast channel if you want to get alerted when we go live. Gabe. Always seeing a reverse head and shoulders on Chainlink. A reverse head and shoulders on Chainlink. Looking like this ding car. It's very tight, huh? It's very tight. And there's the neckline. Could be. That would take us right back into this resistance over there at 1583. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Yeah. It's not until Scott, and it's so easy to just pull up a chart on TradingView of the S&P 500 and Bitcoin, looking at them together. It won't be until 2021 that correlation breaks big time, right? As it broke big time in 2017, as it broke big time in 2013. And then again in the bear market, it's going to break big time as Bitcoin is going to get demolished. And the S&P, it could be at a new all-time highs. So, there is that period when the correlation breaks big time. All right. So if you're here enjoying the session, by the way, there's only one rule. Happy to be here sharing my time and experience with you. But if you enjoy the session or you learn something new, you got to go ahead and smash that like button and help support the channel. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. I do appreciate that. By the way, this is the area that I'm watching here on gold right now. This is the resistance we got to get above. It's somewhere around $1,952, $1,950. It's this now. I'm sorry. This trend line was support. It's now could act as resistance on the way up. If we're rejected there, not a good sign. If you're rejected there, not a good sign, right? You got it to be in the clear. You're going to have to break above that little area right over there on gold. Silver looks better. Looks more better. More better. Market's about to open in a few minutes. Let's see what New York does with it. All right. Market's about to open in just a few minutes. See what they do. No, I don't follow any institutional investors. I don't think institutional investors have anything on my chart analysis or trading whatsoever. Not at all. Maybe they follow us. Are there any institutional investors in here? If you are, go ahead and smash that like button. But I don't follow institutional positioning or investors. I follow the charts. Right? That's awesome. Okay. And I'm here to share that with you. Right? I do hope that the clarity I offer helps you see things clearly and you're able to take advantage of that. But it could even be the opposite way. I could make a case for what I see going on in the charts, and you could be like, I don't see that at all. I completely disagree, and that's bringing clarity for you as well. It's all good. So let's get into FX this morning. That's right, Chris. That's right. I feel, anyway. Thank you I'm so happy to be here, Jared. I'm not personally. Brad, what's up, brother? I'll just catch it up here for a couple of comments as I take a sip of my green matcha tea to get into this flow over here, and then keep going with you this morning because I'm having fun. I'm happy to be here, and I don't think that we're out of the woods by any means. Again, this could be a very much dead cat bounce that we're seeing today. We're watching for that. And why I say that, my base case is that we take out this swing high over here. All right. If we roll over, we're going to all be watching that one quickly. We're going to be there. That's a big deal. If we roll over there. DXY, let's see what it's doing now as we're about 1 minute away from the U.S. markets opening. I just need to keep cleaning up my pictures over here. I need clean charts. They're so important because they help you just think clearer and see clearer. All right. Thank you for that. I appreciate that very, very much. Maybe. I don't, Josh, I'm more into tomorrow's a pretty big day. By the way, forward looking, what's happening next week on the calendar? We have the FOMC next week, right? We have the FOMC next week. So that's a bigger deal. The ECB could be a non-event. It could be a non-event. We'll stick with what's going on in the charts and work our way through it until we find out. All right. Let's keep going over here. What? By the way, what do we need to break above to be out of this blue box over here? We need to really get above, let's call it 10,500. The resistance at 10,572. All right, let's move into FX here. I'm going to go through all of these pairs right now. I'm going to be going through all of these pairs right now. I'm going to be flagging anything that looks interesting right now. Now, you all know I had the Euro US dollar flagged yesterday, but I didn't take a new position. I'm still holding her. And that's resuming out now off of that trend line. But you see these wicks below the trend line over here. You can see one happened over here as well. That's not a break. That's not a break. This all has held so far. We're resuming offwards. The thing that I do notice over here is this broadening wedge that we're seeing develop. This blue trend line, that's the big one. That's the 12-year trend line. However, the market is more focused. It looks exactly like the DXY. It looks exactly like the DXY. And I've always said from the time we were over here, as long as we're above this trend line over here, it's still extraordinarily bullish here, and the Euro US dollar has put in a massive move so far this year. All right, so I'm looking for setups though. There's not one. If you didn't take this trade, then you have to wait for the next. If you didn't take this trade, you have to wait for the next. Thanks, Reggie. I do not know sometimes. Yeah, that's okay. I love matcha tea so much. Ceremonial grade. They don't have to even sponsor the channel. We give them free airtime. That's for sure. Definitely thanks for letting me know, Reggie, because I don't know as I'm going. I can only go. And then I see some, so let's keep going. I want to see what's going on in the markets. Australian dollar. Jason, I know you sent over a few different charts at some looks. I wanted to share them in the live stream, but I didn't have the time to prepare. So, look at this over here. I'm focused on this area over here. Do you see that area? Oh, sorry. Let me get back into that. You see that area over here? And then you see over there, that was that area. So I want to put a trend line there to see if that lines up. So that's what I'm focused on doing. I'm going to see, let me just draw and see how well that does. That's pretty good. And we're coming into some resistance right there because of doing that. You could also see that horizontal resistance right there. So I forgot what instrument I pointed that out on. That was on gold. Also, the Australian dollar US dollar is coming into a big area of resistance. Let's watch what happens over the next 90 minutes here. It's going to be really important. If the Australian dollar US dollar is able to break above this resistance right over here, above this I'm sorry, I'm not calling out levels for y'all. I have this trend line resistance coming in around 0.7277, and that's also coinciding here with horizontal resistance at 0.726. Watch out if this is rejected over here. That would be very, very worrisome. If we pop above there, man, the bulls are running. The bulls are running. David, I'm a Long Island kid myself. Greetings. We've looked at the S&P. We've nailed the S&P. If you're not familiar, pull back on the live stream and go back to the beginning where you're going to get the clearest view of the first thing we looked at was the S&P 500. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I don't think there's a bigger bull. I'm pretty bullish on Bitcoin, right? And I have been, and I have made a great effort over the past year to position everyone into Bitcoin and navigate it through. Greetings. We lost ourselves over here. I got to get my situation settled really quick. Give me 1 second, please, fam, as we get going over here, and then we'll get back into it because we're no rush today. All right, there you go. Good enough. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful accomplishment. So glad to hear that. Thank you, Greg. This is a daily thing, Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock a.m., half hour before the equity markets open. We go live. If you want to get alerted when we go live, go ahead and see in the description below the Telegram channel. I'll let you know. Look, I talked about the Australian dollar, US dollar coming into that resistance. You can see also that's happening on gold. We're watching those levels closely today. All right. So if this does break above, if this breaks above here, this is where the trade sets up. What do I mean by that? You then look for a retest back down, either into this trend line or into that support over here, and a resumption off. That is where I will be looking for sure to take a long on the Australian dollar versus the US dollar. So right now that trade is setting up. It's still yet some time away, but I'll keep watching for it. Australian dollar, Canadian dollar. Look over here. Just watch what's going on so you could see it in the future. Watch. Look, you see over here, this area. Look over here. Support, resistance. That's called local support. That's where we came back onto and resuming off over there. Okay? Bullish. Australian dollar, Swiss franc. I'm looking to flag anything. I'll put a yellow flag if anything has a setup coming for later today. Right now, so far, we've looked through 3 pairs. No setups here yet. We'll keep watching. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And if you're here and you're learning, please go ahead and smash that like button. We got a lot of tainted folks in here today. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that this free, clear education is not providing you value. I laugh at you, though. So over here, we're looking at the Australian dollar, Swiss franc is coming into some resistance. I'm seeing across the markets that although we're seeing this pop today, this morning, off of these oversold areas, so maybe this is a dead cat bounce, I'm seeing a lot of things coming into resistance, including the Australian dollar, Swiss franc. If you pull back, are you in a downtrend? You're in a massive downtrend in the long term. If you come over to here and are rejected over here, if I was a position trader, I might be interested in taking a swing trade right there that I could turn into a position trade, but I'm not doing that. I'm looking for swing trades only to the buy side. I'm going to go ahead and tighten up this chart over here. Why? I see the market paying attention over here. Do you see these resistance, support? This is what the market's now showing me that it's paying attention to. This, by the way, most likely is a consolidation pattern that's developing. That's probably a continuation pattern. I believe we break out to the upside, but there's no trade there at the moment. There might be no setups. I'll get to the Canadian dollar, Swiss franc when we work our way over to there, all right? Australian dollar, Japanese yen, beautiful. Beautiful. I say beautiful because I'm long this trade. It's nice to see me pop up like this. Back above the support over here at 76.68. But do you all see that we're into some local resistance right now? I've showed so far a few different instruments: gold, Australian dollar, US dollar, Australian dollar, Swiss franc, and now also the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, all into some critical resistance levels. Okay? So the market here so far is just popping up. It could be a dead cat bounce. Let's see if we roll over here. No, I don't use moving averages. They're lagging. Moving averages are lagging. I don't use moving averages. You could make a successful system off moving averages. I trade off of price, off of the market structure of support and resistance with the help of trend lines and chart patterns. It's absolutely the best way to trade. Absolutely the best way to trade. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. So this looks very healthy, by the way. This is where I leaned in long. A lot of you leaned in long because we were coming out of the trend line support here of this bull flag, which we've broken out of and now retesting. So a resumption off of there is so bullish. That's a place you could add or take up a new position, right? By the way, also notice that this was also horizontal, right? Horizontal support right over there as well. That's the reason why I took that trade, right? And this looks super bullish as we come back down and are retesting the breakout of that channel, of that bull flag continuation pattern. A resumption off here at the right time of day, that's a new position that you could take or add to a position. That's the only flag I have so far. I don't have a target for XRP. I think you're much better off invested in in Bitcoin than XRP. XRP could rip for sure, but you have Ripple selling their shares to you every time it rips, right? Listen, you're much better off with a low amount of leverage, no more than 3x on Bitcoin than you would be investing into Ripple. Ripple's XRP is highly speculative, right? Careful. I want everyone that we're here together prospering, right? I want everyone that's here with us prospering. What is this, a blue box that I have here? There you go. Cleaner. Canadian dollar, Swiss franc. Oh, Canadian dollar, Swiss franc. I don't see anything going on whatsoever. Not interesting at all. The only thing that I could see over here is it looked like you have this channel, this rising channel. Although you broke the bottom, I'm sorry. Although you broke the bottom piece of this channel over here right now, you can see you're resuming off right now. You got to watch a short right there. That's a short signal. Are you in an uptrend or a downtrend? Here's what I mean. You're in a downtrend, but you're also just dead sideways. You're just sideways. I avoid sideways markets like the plague. Why? Because the way that I trade is I'm looking to cut my losses short and push my winners. I'm looking to push my winning trades and hold on to them. Multiple support and resistance levels. You can't do that in a sideways market. You're just caught. That's a sell signal here though right now. Careful. No, I don't have a comment about Polkadot. I don't know what Polkadot is. It sounds like some highly speculative DeFi stuff. DeFi probably 5 years from now will be awesome, right? Right? DeFi will be awesome alternative, right? Especially for privacy and not having to do KYC and everything else like that. But right now, it's just highly speculative. Do not, if you want to make money, look for clarity. Right now, as we're entering alt season, yeah, altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin in alt season. So what do you want to do? Well, go ahead and invest in the top 20, the top 70, but you don't know which one of those projects are going to work out and which are not. Okay? Don't you we'll keep going. Maybe not. Maybe not, you know? So, Nasdaq and S&P. All right, we're good on the Polkadot business though. First and only warning there, Kyle. All right. Nasdaq and S&P, if you want a clean look at them, go pull back that red streaming thing to the beginning of the stream. The first thing that we looked at was the Nasdaq and S&P 500. First S&P 500, then Nasdaq. You'll get a really, really good look at them. That's what you want to do. This is TradingView. The software that I use here is TradingView, tradingview.com. It is absolutely, absolutely sweet. Do highly recommend it. Euro, New Zealand dollar. I see this after breaking out above. Is that a bull flag you're looking at? I mean, I see the channel. I don't like the steepness of it. But what I'm looking at here, more importantly, is now the retest into that support. You see over here, this is local support right now. If we do peak out there or here, that's a buying opportunity on the Euro New Zealand dollar. I actually like it. I'm going to flag that for myself. Thanks for bringing that up, Gabe. Let's keep going over here. Yes, the resistance level at gold, that's coming in right now at between 1950 and 1952. That's the resistance level. I hope we break back above it and attack the 1976. But if you see a reversal off of 1950, the 1952 area, watch out for that. Okay? Yes. anytime you just tune in, if you want to look at the S&P 500, just go pull back to the beginning of the live stream. Watch the first pair we look at is always the S&P, then the Nasdaq, and then you could come back and join us. All right, that's all you got to do. Let's keep going over here. I don't want to lose my flow. I got to keep the flow going. Swiss franc, Japanese yen, very bullish. Very bullish. When the markets are so far have been highly risk on, you're seeing the Swiss franc outperform the Japanese yen. All right, just be aware. If we go to risk off, you're going to see the Japanese yen outperform the Swiss franc. By the way, we are coming into an area of resistance. If we roll over here, again, this could all be a dead cat bounce. We have some important levels to regain here in the markets before we're surfing well again, before we are riding some smooth waves. There's a lot of work to do right now. Be cautious. Be aware. All right. Let me get a check on the DXYs. We're at 15 minutes. It hasn't really moved since the U.S. equity markets have opened. Again, a resumption off of here to the upside. That is now setting up the counter trend move. We talked about that broadening wedge on the euro US dollar. You could also see it taking place here. You could also see it taking place here. This kind of changes my perspective a little. You could also see it taking place here on the DXY, right? You see that broadening wedge. Now look at the euro US dollar. And you could also see that broadening wedge over here. Here's the blue line, the trend line. All right. So dollar, not really going anywhere in a hurry, right? Yeah, New York, born and raised. So the Jason, we saw in the past couple of weeks or so, the Swiss franc verbally intervening in the market. You're seeing some of that volatility right now because of it. If we go into a highly risk-off situation, then that's when you really want to be attracted to the Swiss franc. Aside from that, those situations, I stay away. Let's take a look at some euro pairs right now. Let's start with the euro Australian dollar. I'm not really lighting up any flags here today, right? Let's see if that trend continues, where we actually get some setups. I thought we were going to see, because it's a big day, a lot's happening. I thought we would get a lot more setups going, but it is what it is. And guess what? We don't try to impose our will on the markets. We follow the flow of the market. Whatever it's offering is what we take, not the other way. Stop forcing trades. If you're forcing trades, you're doing this wrong. This is just sideways. Could everyone see this big consolidation over here? This is just sideways over here, right? Sideways markets, I stay away. Now, once we break outside of that range, it could lead to a big move. That's when we'll be looking and tracking it. Euro Canadian dollar over here. All right, the first thing I'm doing is, do you see the market paying attention over here? And then these levels over here. So I'm just going to clean up my chart. I always want to know where the market's paying attention to, right? The focus on over there. I see that this was a bull flag. You see this bull flag over here? And now we're broken out. Not only broken out, it's already retested and is resuming up. All right. I wasn't involved in this. I missed this. So there's nothing for me to do right now. The two entries were either as you were at the bottom of the bull flag over here, right? Or coming out of it now with the retest over here. This is the first place to be targeting. There's nothing I could do but sit back and watch. As we come into here, though, I'll be looking for a rejection. There's simply nothing for me to do or get involved. Euro Swiss franc, that looks like something I do not want to watch or be involved in. That's just plain consolidation and sideways. I don't want to be stuck in something that's not moving ever. Euro, British pound, this is something that I need to continue to stay away from, only because of what's going on here with the situation with the Greek exit. And it's actually seems to be playing out a little bit different than we all expected. The base case was that at the last minute, they just come to some type of agreement. Now it looks more and more like it's possible that the UK sincerely is just going to leave. They're tired of it all. It is nice to see as you came down into that support line, That was where the bounce held. You're into some resistance up here right now, though. I'm just out of it. There's nothing I want to get involved with. Euro, Japanese yen, again, you could see the bounce off of support. You see how support and resistance work? It's okay if you're just seeing it, keep watching it. This is how you trade the market successfully. All right, and all I can say, you need to. Not interested in the Turkish lira versus the euro. I don't follow or trade exotics. I look for liquidity. I look for high probability. If you're long on the S&P with a stop loss at break even, does one take profits? But no, take profits. You're up 1%. No, I would be taking profits into the resistance over here, right? If you're looking to take profits, right? If you're looking to be happy with getting stopped out at break even, if that's what happens, it was a non-event. But you cannot make a living taking profits at the same risk to reward as your stop loss. You will never make money. You have to hold on to your winners. You can't hold on to your winners. People take profits too soon. One of the single greatest errors of aspiring traders is that they take profits too soon and they hold on to their losses too long. Right? Reverse that. Just reverse that. You have to do the exact opposite. Instead of taking your profits too soon, you have to cut your losses short. Instead of holding on to your losers, you have to hold on to your winners. Right? What does that mean? That means that only a few of your trades are going to make up all of your gains. That means you're going to have a lot of trades that were slightly into profit turn against you and get stopped out at break even. If that frustrates you, then trading is not for you. If that frustrates you, trading is not for you. I don't care. I'm in here to make money, right? I'm here to make money. If I get stopped out at break even or a small loss, I do not care. That's part of the game, right? I'm glad you appreciate the RCA. If anyone did, go ahead, smash that like button. We got a lot of disgruntled people in here today. We're almost hitting double digits on the thumbs down. That's okay. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You got to be in it for the long term. That's so for sure. I'm confused whether Australian dollar New Zealand has bounced off the resistance or not. Let's take a look at it. I'm in that trade. No. So all that's happening here on the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, by the way, is that we've broken out of this bull flag. Right here is the trend line resistance of the bull flag. We've broken out of it, came into that local resistance. That's what always happens. Every time you break out, before you get the retest, you just come into that first area of local support or resistance, and now have come back down. This wick you don't pay attention to over here. It matters where you close. It close on the daily time frame. If we close later today, back down over here below this trend line, then you're back into the bull flag and it was a failed breakout. But right now, it's not giving any indication of that. That's simply a retest. You're looking for a higher high and a resumption out now. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Wow. 1,500 people in here making up the community. This is pretty awesome. Grateful for you all. Gold coming into the area that we're really getting excited. That's going to be we're watching at 1950, 1952. That's what we're looking for and watching, right? By the way, if I just may take a moment here as I take a sip of my tea. Dan, that's right, brother. That's right. It's so funny to me that some people, though, Dan, let me just mention for the last time, I won't bring it up again for a few weeks. Some people are so wounded in their heart, they sit there in front of their computer and repeatedly hit the dislike button and then take it off and then hit it again and take it off and hit it again. Could you imagine how pathetic your existence is? What's wrong with you? Go out there and do something, build something, learn something, pick up a book, read a book, listen to a podcast, watch a YouTube video, do whatever you need to do to improve your life. But if you do not like being here, get out. This is not for you then. Oh, boy. All right. I feel bad. Some people have no, I didn't hey, listen, my dad left when I was little, right? My mom raised 4 kids herself from nothing. I didn't have a father figure. A lot of people don't have parental figures. Instead of like taking it on their own to better themselves, improve themselves, they just become victims. You're not going to get anywhere. All right. Here we go. Let's keep going over here. I want to now that we're about a half hour since the equity market's open, I want to do a quick review of what's going on before we continue going back into FX. Yeah, brother, I'm sorry to hear that, I use buy, stop, and sell stop orders on every entry that I make. We're going to do a quick review right now. What's going on? S&P still towards the top of the session over here. S&P still towards the top of its session over here, right? Above that trend line, the closest trend line resistance that I was looking at. If you look sideways, it is coming up right now into a lot of horizontal local resistance there at 33.80. Do you see the level? Do you see over here the level that I'm looking at? Follow my mouse across. That's a level that it's coming into right now. You got to be in it to win it. You got to hold on to the trades. If you got this beautiful entry, you're holding a free trade right now. I'm targeting above this last swing high over here. I'm targeting above there, right? If we roll over, that's going to be nasty. Then this is going to be a dead cat bounce we're experiencing. We'll watch out. We'll take it as it comes. Nasdaq is up 1.8% today. It's close to the high of the session today. It's also into some local resistance right over here. It's not a big level. I'll call it out. It's 11,261. In that area over there is local resistance. I'm not even going to put a level over there. Is it possible that's where we get rejected? It is. I would think probably a much bigger level that's over here at 11,417. 11,400, call it. It's a much bigger level. You have this, follow my mouse, that horizontal resistance, and then you have this trend line resistance over there. It's a bigger, more important level. The Nasdaq is up almost 2% on the day. Stop trying to fade moves. You will never make money fading moves. You got to be preemptive of moves, meaning you're getting into the trade before that momentum starts, right? How do you do that? Buying off support, selling off resistance. You don't chase moves. You don't try to pick tops. There's no reason, there's no indication to sell the Nasdaq here. If this rolls over, right, your entry is going to be below here. It's going to be below 11,085. That's going to be the first indication as price makes a lower low than the previous price bar, below this trend line support and below this horizontal support. There's no reason to be looking to fade markets. Dollar is also trading at the low of the session. So the momentum a half hour after equity markets have opened continues to flow in the direction that it came into the session. Now, there's still an important piece of this session left to go. The next hour of trading is really going to be crucial here. Gold is coming up into our resistance over here. I'm saying watch out if we're rejected here. I'm not looking to be rejected over here. In my mind, we've broken out of this triangle. But however, at the same time, go ahead and do this with me and follow. I'm going to clone this line over here. Do you see this peak over there? Right? That also coincides right there. You see that? Right? So this area over here that I called out of 1950, 1952 is super critical. If gold is going to make a big move, it's got to clear that. All right? So, silver. You got to get 8 hour, you just got to go ahead and it's like $7 a month for the pro upgrade. Go ahead and choose the pro upgrade, and then you just click, you just go down here, click 8, change that to hours, and then add. It's very simple. It's a necessity. People say you could also just type 480 in the center of your chart and get it. It doesn't always work. You could try that. Silver, looking good into a little bit of resistance right here. Local resistance. Bitcoin lagging everything, still consolidating over here. All right. There goes the S&P. All right. The bug's fixed. It no longer works. Why is the 8 hour necessary? Because it's the best time frame to trade. It's the best time frame to trade, and simply going ahead and moving your time preference to the 8 hour is going to automatically drastically improve your results. It's better than the daily, which is lagging, which is in the day you have 3 sessions. You have the Asian session, you have the London, the European session, and then you have the New York session, the North American session. That's 3 sessions, 8 hours times 3, 24 hours in a day. It gives you better flow. It gives you more precise entries than the daily does. On the 4 hour, the 1 hour, it's just a lot of noise. There's a lot of whiplash. It's very difficult to get a clear signal. You're gonna get whipped around. It's very poor time frames to be focused on. 8 hours, a use edge. Todd, that's a great growth mindset, brother. That's a great growth mindset. Tom, just stick around. First for 1 session, then for a week or 2, and by the end of a couple of weeks, your whole awareness, your whole base of what you're coming off is going to have grown immensely. All right, let's keep going over here. Is the Nasdaq pulling back into something that's becoming attractive? I'm not going to go to a smaller time frame and even look at it. I'm not going to go to a small time frame and even give it. I'm going to keep going through the markets over here. I want to see what else is going on. Let's have some fun for a second to give myself to take a break. This is why, all right, I'm sorry, but this is why I sincerely dislike equity markets. Why is that, Jordan? Do you see over here we closed into the support, right? Except now then we open up above the next support over here, above the resistance over here. So you can't take the resumption off the support. Gaps. They just make trading equity markets so inefficient. It's like being handicapped. It's trying to run a race with your hands tied to your body. It's just a handicap. And I don't like it. So that's exactly why. But nice gap up on Tesla, right? What about Apple? What's Apple doing here this morning? Also gapped up over here. It's just ugly. I think we're entering into some consolidation over here now, actually. I think we enter into some consolidation over here. Oh, you don't? Why not? And who doesn't? Have you read the Market Wizards or the new Market Wizards books? Some of the legends of finance. You have 2 groups of traders over there. One group is fundamentals. The other is only those who trade off technicals. To say something absolute, like you do not trade off of technicals, and then you could look at someone like Paul Tudor Jones, who has made $4 billion in the equity markets and only trades off technicals. I don't get that. So, yeah. Don't chase today. Good, David. Smart. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going over here. Watching gold come into our area. We're going to keep watching that. I'm focused in on it. I want to see create or hate. Now, Mike, do you think anyone that has that negative disposition is going to go ahead and read a book to improve their lives? Nah. I hope they do. That's let me highlight that again. That's actually a very good share over here because it's very important. All of us need to really be looking to improve ourselves. That goes for trading. If you want to be a better trader, make sure that you have a really solid routine. This is a business. This is serious. You're competing against professionals. You're competing against people who are hungrier. The person putting in the most time on the court is going to have the best performance. You have to get good sleep. You have to eat well. You have to exercise. You have to always be learning, right? Not just about the markets, about yourself. All these things are crucial. You have to dial in. You have to get serious. It's the first week of September, right? After Labor Day. This is when everyone comes back. This is when it gets serious. You really need to, if you want this, you have to really want it, and you have to put in all your effort to be successful. There's no half effort here. If you do, we're taking your money. Everyone who's competing against you is taking your money. Yeah, let's kick it back into FX, looking at the pound Japanese yen, right? I'm just going to pull back for you. I'm pulling back for you. Do you see this line of support that we had in over here? Do you see what happened overnight during London, right? Where we look for our entries. Price triggered long over there, now coming up into this resistance. You have resistance not only where my mouse is right now, but all the way up to 138. Let me go ahead and make this red. So it's not just, it's across the markets. We're seeing everything has bounced into the first resistance level. It's across the board. This could very well be a dead cat bounce. This is where it gets interesting for us, because if the market over the next hour continues to climb and break over these resistance levels, everything's looking pretty good, and we're looking for a further extension of these moves. If they're rejected here, there's a good chance we're taking out yesterday's lows pretty quickly. Nothing comes easy, and you should not be looking for it to become easy. Absolutely. Right back at you. Thank you all for being here and teaching me every day. I definitely am grateful and appreciate it. All right. Let's keep going over here. Let me see what's going on. Let me track in gold. It's still to go. It's this next hour that's going to be crucial. All right. Let me look at some pound pairs I'm staying away from because of what's going on with the Break exit situation. Okay. But just want to be very clear about one thing. Rule number one, we buy off support in uptrends. We sell off resistance in downtrends. Is this an up or a downtrend? Jordan, that's a downtrend. Look what happened as you came into the resistance levels. Like, the whole point of pointing this out is just to get you to see clear, to reprogram that mind of yours, so then as in the days and weeks, the market is always going to be there. There's always opportunity. As these things play out and unfold, you're going to be there to take advantage of them. That's a good tip right there, John. Right? How do I do that? I'll Google it later. That's another thing too. That, first of all, John, that's a great tip. I'll definitely want to do that. And then you noticed, I'm like, well, how do I do that? Well, Jordan, you go ahead and you search for it. If you want, don't ask other people questions that you could find out yourself, right? Don't ask other people questions that you could just take 2 seconds to find out yourself. Do we have a bear flag forming on Bitcoin? Settings, thanks, brother. Appreciate that. You never know if a support. This is a great question, so I'll come right back to that in 1 second, Simon. That's a fantastic question, and there's a lot to learn from everyone right there. Is that a bear flag forming? So a bear flag would have more of a. This has like a downward slope, right? You see that downward slope? That's, if this was coming in from the upside, that's a bull flag. But a bear flag is going to have that upward slope. So a bear flag is you go down, and then you're forming a flag that's like that. So I don't think so. What I think it is just some consolidation over here in that blue box that I have drawn over here. And I'm just waiting until we break to the upside or we break to the downside. If we break to the upside, forget about it. We got a lot of traders who never close the gap, who are targeting it. All of a sudden, I have to close their positions. We could snap up quickly back and reclaim this trend line over here. If we break to the downside, I don't think we go below around the 91 area, right? Give or take. Could we go down to 88? Yeah, come on. We're not trying to call things to the dollar here. The question that was brought up, which was really, really good over here, is how do you know if a support or resistance will hold? You never know. Hold on here. I wish I could pull up something that's easy to show you. You never know. Okay, here, look, I'm just focusing right over here. Right? As you come down into this area of support, right? There's the first resumption up. You never know if it's going to hold, but you never buy as price is approaching the support. As price is coming into the support, you don't buy, because if price keeps falling below the support, you never entered that trade. You look for it like you're layering edge upon edge. One of the first edges that you could give yourself is what market you trade. The second edge you give yourself is what time frame you trade. A third edge, what time of day you trade. Another edge that we use right here is you don't take the trade, Simon. You never know if it's going to hold or not until price gives you the first indication it's holding. What is that? Price resumes off of it, making a higher high than the previous price bar. That's your first indication that the support is holding. That's a high probability trade. Taking the trade down into support is a low probability trade. All right. Now, I mean, I could understand. Anyway, does my FX broker let you? Does FX Choice let you trade indexes? Yes, it does. Juan, it does. Now, Juan, I highly suggest you only to focus on trading currencies, FX, until you're profitable for a few months before you trade indexes. While the indexes may seem attractive to you, they're much more difficult to trade. And until you're making money, trade on something that's easier. Trade FX until you're making profit, until you really understand what it takes to make money. Because once you understand what you need to do to make money, all of a sudden you have discipline. Lack of discipline comes from not having a strategy, from not having awareness of a mindset of what you need to be doing to make money. Once you know what you need to do to make money, believe me, you will not trade outside of those rules, even if it's clear to you at all, because you just want to make money. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Thank you. No, we trade off the 8-hour time frame. You could have a life. You don't need to stare at the screen all day. You do need to put the time in your analysis. That is the most important thing. You need to put the time into your analysis. That is so important. Yeah, it's good for Bitcoin. I mostly follow Bitcoin on the 8-hour. 12 hours also good for Bitcoin. All right, let me see what's going on over here right now, by the way. So S&P is out towards its highs of the day. Nasdaq towards the highs of the day. DXY maintaining towards that low of the day. Gold a little off. We'll continue watching it. The next 45 minutes are crucial. Bitcoin backing off a little bit, still in no man's land. Dead center of the box. Dead center of the box. Thumbs up for that. You could use the true trend is fantastic. You could use the true trend as a very good guide, especially if you're having trouble knowing if something's in an uptrend or downtrend. Before you use the true trend, go to the channel. Before you use the true trend, go to the channel and watch the video, the most recent video I did on the true trend about a month ago, and watch that full video, which fully explains the true trend, the pros and the cons, and how to use it. But the true trend is absolutely fantastic. After you use the true trend enough, you don't need it anymore, because you don't need it anymore. I've noticed also I don't need to. This is bad and good. It's bad from an educator standpoint. I don't really need to be always even including my support and resistance lines anymore, because I see it without having to put it on the chart. But for everyone else's benefit, I need to not only be putting them on the chart, I need to call out the levels a lot more often. Let's take a look at copper. Pound US dollar. before we go into copper? Look back over to here, that touch of support, right? Follow the mouse to the right until you get towards February and March. You see where we hit that again over there? And that's where we are again today, into that area, right? Let me go ahead and... All right, this one I want in here. I'm just cleaning this up actually for your benefit. I'm staying away from the pound. I'm staying away from the pound because right now you have anything could happen between the negotiations between the EU, between Brussels and the UK. I do not. It's just when something is too volatile, and I don't want to be involved. I'm looking for things that are just trading purely technical. Let's take a look at what's happening with copper. Copper looks beautiful coming off the support right now, off the $3 level, very important level. Copper looks very beautiful. We've been talking about over the past couple of weeks, ever since we got the breakout over right here, since right there, that copper and palladium seem to be looking to lead gold and silver. Both of them look very healthy. Both of them look very bullish. Kips, there's something that we wanted to share with you. I forgot what it was now. If I come across it later in the day, I'll have it prepared for tomorrow. There's something that we wanted to share with you that we thought that you would really enjoy. Rex, it's okay, brother. Some people are tainted. It's all good. Thank you for that. I really, you guys all really lift me up. I'm excited every morning as the music comes on here and everyone's saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You guys are a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic community, and I'm grateful for that. Maybe you could add support. I can't do that. I cannot be going over the charts and then adding in the description support and resistance levels for y'all. That's not possible. I wish I could timestamp in the description every instrument that we're looking at and when that occurs. That would be awesome, but I can't do that. That's not realistic. All right, everything maintaining. Next 40 minutes, uber important, and keep going over it. That's a great attitude, huh? Yeah, we have the true trend. You can pull up the true trend. There's a video on the Forex playlist on the channel on the true trend. You can just search over here, true trend. True trend, conquer trading and investing. Go ahead and add it up. Just taking a breath here. I still have a lot of pairs to go over. I only have 2 pairs that are like mildly flagged. This one, you can see it resuming out now off of the retest, the breakout of the bull flag, the retest, now potentially resuming out. This is where I first entered the position. If this was the correct time of day, I would take another position. And the euro New Zealand dollar coming back down into the support. It's into local support right now, right over there. You can see that resistance back to their support. A resumption off there at the right time. I like that. It's only 2 pairs that I flagged. It's not a lot. It's not a day for new entries. That's all that means. Do not try to force it. Listen, I average 3 trades a week. If you're taking more than that, I know you're not profitable. That's all you need if you need that many. You have to be selective. Silver moving in upwards channels with a false breakout. Let's see. Let's check back in on gold and silver. First of all, we're watching that area over here, right? How high did we get? We got as high as 1948.50. I said the level between 1950 and 1952. Same difference, right? We're into that area. We need to watch if we're rejected right there. right? Same thing with silver. What's going on over here? Not silver's still looking very, very, very bullish. More bullish than gold. Continues to be. Both are looking good. Nothing has changed. Do not get caught up in small little price fluctuations. Do not get caught up in small little price fluctuations. The right time of day with the most volume, the London session, we take signals towards the light. Listen, the cost of the course, by the way, if you're sincerely interested, everyone and anyone, is app for the value it provides is insignificant. It's a tiny investment into your future, or if you just want to go ahead and support the channel, that's fine. But London is the best time where we take our signals. That's the only time of day that you want to be placing orders. That includes the New York overlap with London. If you want to day trade, go ahead and focus in on the E-minis, right? Focus, Greg, there's a link below in the description. You could find out all the information over there. I don't. There's nothing else I could say that is absolutely phenomenal. Thank you, Patrick. I do appreciate that. Yeah, that's trade with me. That is. I'm interested personally in what happens in the next 40 minutes. I want to know what this looks like, whether or not, because we're at such important levels. The details are below in the trade with me. In the trade with me. I'm so interested, right? In these, as we looked across the markets today, we saw so many different instruments coming in to these resistance levels. So I don't know whether or not this is a dead cat bounce or not. This is going to be an amazing session. This afternoon's update will have a lot more clarity on all of that. Even though you're seeing that rejection right now on gold, right? That was just the first poke at it. That was just the first poke at it. No, like is above 1900. Gold is super bullish. Okay. The Nasdaq, it's tiny bit off the highs of the day. This looks good, coming back now into this area of broken resistance, testing it as support. If the Nasdaq resumes off of there, that's super, super bullish. S&P is close to the high of the day. The DXY is close to the low of the day. Bitcoin is still stuck in no man's land right now. I don't ever use trailing stops. I think trailing stops really prevent profit. The whole name of the game is holding on to those winners. You cannot do that with trailing stops. So I use at the first support or resistance level, I move my stop loss to break even, still giving that trade to room, taking a small piece of profit, right? And then as you keep breaking levels, you can readjust your stop loss to lock in profits, but be careful with trailing stuff. I don't know. And seeker of the truth, and more importantly, I'm interested in providing that guidance on the best way to trade, position yourself for the duration of the Bitcoin bull market. Both of those videos I want to do. I do have all these notes over here though. This is for the M1, M2, M0. I have all these notes here. Pages aren't loading. I'll come back in 1 second as they load. I did a tweet. There's a couple of tweets have been a couple of my last tweets have been about deflation and inflation. So let me include that there for you if you want to check those out. But I have over here all of the little different notes and things that I want to go off of as I begin that insight into inflation and deflation. You could see over here today, Stanley Druckenmiller weighed in on the inflation deflation debate, right? And he's weighing in. He believes we could easily. It's not a quick move from deflation to inflation. It takes time to make that movement, right? And then all of a sudden, everyone thinks it happened overnight. But it's first gradually, then suddenly. You have to see, and that's what I want to get into in the video, talk about the signs of possible sea of change. When I have kids, they're taking I have kids too. That's what I money is very important. Understanding money. Inflation is what normal people buy. There was an amazing tweet, by the way, over here this morning that I retweeted, right? And so I don't understand this inflation versus deflation debate. In my life, I could only see prices increasing over time. Everything, living expenses are up year over year. The dollar and tech, due to Moore's law, is the only deflation visible in real life. That's correct. Tech is super deflationary, by the way. Tech is super deflationary. I put that over here. Tech is deflationary and providing cover for the powers that be to rob you through currency devaluation. It's all a game. Yeah, QE is definitely asset inflationary. You have to understand what's coming, and more printing is coming. Do stocks only go up? No, come on. We put out the video on the channel. We put out the video on the channel when we said warning, warning. Then we broke above the trend line. We said this is a game changer, a possible game changer. If we confirm that and resume out of it, watch the next 24 hours if we fall back in. And this is the first time. This is when I got out of the equity markets. Remember? This is when we hit all our take profits. Time of a year into August. Got neutral on equities. I said everyone belongs out of the equity markets. We had a melt up and then a meltdown, right? And then this is the first day, yesterday's live stream when we said now it looks like is the time here on the equity markets. Yeah, Andre, brother, my brother, me also. I also grew up right in a group home. So I feel you, and it's so true. They do need that guidance there. It's so important, that fatherly and parental guidance. Parents are important. If you want to change the world, spend some time with your kids. If you want to change the world, spend some time with your kids. Let's go. Let's see. The dollar's still at the low of the session. Gold looking good. Everything's looking good. Everything's looking steady. Any comments on Boeing? Alex, nothing I could add to the conversation there that I could offer you. Twitter is right here. Twitter's right there. All right, everyone. We still got a lot of life to this session over here. Everyone has a pretty clear indication of the important levels of resistances that we're coming into. If we break above them, then we're looking for an extension of that move. I told you what we're targeting here on the S&P. We're targeting above that last swing high. Let's see if we get it. Let's see if we get the money shot, right? And by the way, that's not the take profit. I'm looking for a break above there. Probably into this area over here is where I would be looking for a resumption down. We'll figure it out as it comes. All right. I wish you all a beautiful day. I thank you for being here with me today. I thank you for really, really, I value each and every one of you. Thank you. Rex, I'm proud of you, brother. I think you are making strides. Break even is the first step. A lot of traders never make it to break even or better. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for letting me know that. Dinkar. Brother. Camera, patience. Spend some time hanging out with us, watching, learning, so you know. You will know for yourself. Shane, thanks for your comment every day. It means a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Jesse. Jesse's going to have the Conquering the Markets shirts and mugs pretty soon. Getting on Amazon. Have a beautiful day as well, David. Thank you very much. Greg, right back at you, brother. Everybody, have a beautiful day. We're going to take a look later in this afternoon. We're going to make sure that we stay on the right side. We don't know. That's the question. This could be a day cat bounce. We're watching for it. Maybe. You can't call it until it develops. Until you start making lower lows again. There's no way of saying that. Let's watch and see. Thank you very much. Thank you. And if anyone wants to know when we're alerted, when we go live, in the description below, there's the Telegram broadcast chat. Every day we go live, I let people know through there. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. Take care, everybody. Thank you for that. I have to read all the comments, though. If you guys take the time to write the comments, whether it's on the YouTube videos, I don't catch every single one of them, but I try to. They're very important to me. Thank you, John. I'm going to go ahead and do my settings right now and figure out the pre-market and after-markets data. No trailing stops. That's right, Alvin. Right, I'm going to make my sip of my matcha. Thank you, too. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. It means a lot to me when people tell me the difference that this analysis, that these live streams, that these published videos have made in their trading. It means a lot to me. You too, brother. Thank you. Will, I need to find out what's going on with the Pax Gold and how you could go ahead and confirm that. I was looking into it this morning. I'll continue. I'll get that to you, Will. Thank you. I hear the kids crying. I'm going to go kiss them. All right, everybody. Have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. That's what it's all about. Thanks, Brad. Keep it simple. The markets are complicated. Another one of our edge is making everything simple. Juan, may God bless you too. Thank you, Thomas, for being here. Thank you, everybody. That's good, Gemma. That's very Gemma, super, super, super positive. I like that a lot. That's awesome, Gemma. I like that. Thank you. Me too, Dave. I need one as well. He's just there's so many hoops to jump through for him to get. Thank you, Tori. For him to get. Don't forget Kip's Qatar and Kip's Copper. Kip's Copper. Kips, is that a channel of yours, Kips Copper? Thank you. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you later.